Goodness me, I'm sure Arsenal fans will be very, very excited about this. How likely is this to happen?
Look, I think for any deal to happen, you have to have a willing buyer and a willing seller. Do we have a willing buyer? Yes, we do. Daniel Elk has come out on social media and said he's a long-time Arsenal fan and he wants to buy the club. And we've learned also that Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp are going to be part of that consortium. We've heard a lot from Arsenal fans saying we want our Arsenal back. Well, having Thierry Henry, Bergkamp and Patrick Vieira back at the Emirates Stadium, they would have Arsenal back. And the owner would be somebody who is a very rich man who's also an Arsenal supporter. So we have a willing buyer. Do we have a willing seller? No, we don't. Stan Kroenke has always made it clear that Arsenal is not for sale. I don't think he's ever sold one of his clubs that he's owned. But it has to be said that fan pressure is beginning to be felt at these big six clubs. We've seen fan pressure was one of the reasons why they pulled out of the breakaway Super League. And I know for a fact that one of the owners of these big six clubs has been almost tempted to throw the towel in now because of the backlash. He's close to putting his club up for sale. Of course, he's not going to come out in public and say, my club is for sale, because that would affect the price. But privately, I think he would be open to selling his club. A couple of other problems with this potential deal is these kind of deals, when they happen out of the blue. Because to get the financing together to buy a club of the size of Arsenal, you're talking about at least £2 billion. Now, you would need months and months to talk to bankers, to put a deal together. It's not something that you just do by announcing it on social media and then going ahead and doing it. So that is a concern. Also, people have been asking, does Daniel Elk actually have enough money to be able to buy Arsenal? He's supposed to be worth something like between £3 and £4 billion, and Arsenal would cost at least £2 billion. But we have to take him at his word. He is saying that he wants to buy the club if Stan Kroenke agrees to sell it, and you would think that he has the money because his company, Spotify, is worth about £50 billion. So he does have the money to do the deal. I was speaking to somebody who is close to people involved in this deal, and they were telling me this afternoon that it's going to be a very difficult deal to do, but not impossible. Of course, it all depends on Stan Kroenke, whether he wants to sell or not. If he does want to sell, then these players and Daniel Elk are ready and waiting to buy Arsenal.
Carve, thank you. Well, despite the news, former Arsenal striker Kevin Campbell is still being cautious with his hopes for the club's future.
It's a dream team, isn't it? You know, you look at those legends of the football club, and an Arsenal fan in Mr. Eck, who would covet to buy the club. But I think it's a long shot. I really do. I think the Kroenkes are very wealthy. Obviously, they don't live here in the UK. And although there's been a lot of blowback on them, they have a plan for the football club. And whether us fans agree to it or not, you know, they've come out and said that they're going to be keeping the club and looking to build moving forward. So it's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at a consortium involving Henry, Bergkamp and Vieira, it's understandable that Arsenal fans will be getting excited. Tim Payton from the Arsenal Supporters Trust believes their best chance of change will come through a different route.
Stan Kroenke is the 100% owner. He will decide what he wants to do. Criticism and pressure doesn't really get through to him. He's a long way away. He doesn't come to games. So I think we must be realistic here. I think the biggest chance of change still comes from what Boris Johnson said to me last week when I met him in Downing Street, which is things have to change with the ownership of football clubs and their governance. And he was good to his word. He, 48 hours later, announced a review of how football is run, which the former Sports Minister Tracy Crouch will oversee. And I think that the most important opportunity for Arsenal fans and all football fans in the weeks ahead is Tracy Crouch's review.
Right, what do we know about Arsenal's potential new owner? He was born in Stockholm in February 1983. Elk made his first journey into business at the age of just 13, making websites for clients. Well, Elk is the CEO and co-founder of popular music streaming service Spotify, and that has given him a net worth of £3.2 billion. And with his interest in buying Arsenal becoming public, it's also worth knowing he is in fact a lifelong fan of the Gunners.
I think it was Anders Limpar, the Swedish midfielder, creative midfielder, who caught his attention and who made him sort of start supporting Arsenal. As far as his investments, he's laid low for a long time. He has, however, in the past year or so, began to really look outside of the company he founded. So he's actually pledged €1 billion of his wealth, so a sizable amount of his wealth, to invest in technology companies, essentially. But no sort of entertainment bet outside of Spotify yet. And I think that makes this pretty interesting.
Is it a very good marketing stunt from Spotify, or is there genuine interest? Arsenal fans will be excited by the news, but we've seen over the years many people being linked to clubs to buy them, and it'll be interesting to see where this goes, because if Stan Kroenke knows that he's interested, he's got the money to pay for the club, he'll want top dollar for it and make sure that he pushes or squeezes as much out of it as he can. If he's willing to sell, might not even want to sell the club yet.
They spoke about the 3 former Invincibles coming alongside. I think that always provides excitement as well. And it was also nice to hear that Daniel Ek is a fan. You know, he's grown up supporting them. So you think if he's a fan, of course he's a businessman. Of course he wants to make money. But you just hope that he's got the club at heart. So I think it's exciting for Arsenal fans. Whether it'll happen or not, it probably won't. But it's something for them to maybe hang on to at the moment.